Welcome back to New Realities. This is another program in the promotion and kind of keynote speakers that are coming to the Sedona Ascension Retreat, 10th anniversary, March 14th to the 16th, 2025, in Sedona at the Performing Arts Center with amazing speakers, Bashar, Darryl, Billy, Carson, Robert, Edward Grant, and today's speaker, Susanne Wilson. So to get tickets, go to SedonaAscensionRetreats.com and get the early bird special. A lot of other incredible people here: Sarah Brexman Cosme, William Henry, Mark Anthony, Ann Tucker, Adam Apollo, Vivian Chevet, and I'll be hosting, along with Suzanne Ross, this incredible gathering. But for today, welcome Susanne Wilson. So you have an incredible talk that's coming to this conference called the Interdimensional Beings and Ascension. Talk about what that whole subject involves, okay?
Well, thank you for having me, Alan. And I'm so looking forward to seeing you in person again. You have amazing energy that comes across no matter what medium you're using, but it's nice to see you in person and to get together in person is a really important thing for people to do once in a while. I'm going to be talking about interdimensional, I call them allies, and our ascension and the ways that they work with us covertly and overtly, meaning behind the scenes and sometimes in a very direct manner to assist in humanity's ascension to achieving our highest frequency. And I will also share some experiences that I've had, that clients have, things that spirit guides have shared about what we can expect in terms of our challenges and how we can rise to the occasion. We always have free will, so we can choose to ascend or not.
Who are these interdimensional, like clarify like what you mean? Who are they? How'd you get in touch with them and how are they here to help?
Sometimes people talk about the white hats, black hats, or the good guys, bad guys, and they sort of delineate it along light and dark. And it's not always that simple, Alan. Sometimes the entities that are around us are reflecting back what we need to do our shadow work on for ourselves. And so when I talk about allies, I'm talking about interdimensional, extraterrestrial, ultra terrestrial, those being among those groups, among those populations that have a vested interest in the preservation of the planet Earth, but also want humanity to succeed and to continue to evolve and be here, and for as many people as possible to realize their personal sovereignty and to self-actualize. And we do have other beings that are not interested in how we do and perhaps even want the earth for themselves. And we can't really fear them. That doesn't do a whole lot for us. What we can do is invest our time and our energies in learning from our allies and listening to them. And I'm going to simplify this real quick. If this is sounding like, oh, that's weird or that's scary. No, actually, it isn't, because we all have spirit guides, and spirit guides have been written about and talked about from as far back as the first century. And those spirit guides are on our team to assist us. And so, one of the ways that we can prepare for this new earth and usher it in is to become aware of how to connect with the guides that are around us, how to receive actionable intelligence, data, information, clarity that then we can use and apply to make our own best decisions with a heart space with more calm and more peace. What's different now is that the efforts of the spirit guides or interdimensional allies have really stepped up. I mean, it's insane almost. I have so many students and colleagues coming to me and saying, I'm doing so much astral travel. I'm out of the body more than I'm in the body. I'm getting so many messages and so many synchronicities. I'm getting 1111, 444, all these symbols and signs that used to be a once in a while thing. They're like permeating my life. What does this all mean? Well, somebody's trying to get your attention. Someone's trying to get your attention to pay attention to what's happening around you and see where can you be more of service to yourself and to others. And it's all about balance, but it's also about we have to increase not only our discernment, but our observation skills, our willingness to, not be like this, looking down on our phones all of the time, but have an openness and awareness of what's going on in the environment around us. We also have a thinning of the veil that's been going on for a couple of years now, and I can talk about what has thinned that so-called veil between worlds and dimensions and what we need to be looking for.
Well, first, before, why don't you talk about who these beings are? Because yes, we're now officially Aquarian age beings,
Yes,
but
yes,
who are these beings and how can we call on them for help? That's really what I think a practical,
that's the bottom line.
yes.
Some of them are us, some of them are humanity, some of them, and I say hypothesized because so much of what we think we know is hypothesized until we have all of the proof. But at some point, you've got to take the information and go with it if it seems to be helpful, hopeful, and healing. The future us are the ones I would put in the category of ultra terrestrial, just for the ease of communicating and understanding that we're talking about the same thing, meaning not extra to this earth, but from this earth, and perhaps coming back through a wormhole or a remote viewing and seeing what's going on and trying to assist us not to change the future, but to protect and enhance the earth and the well-being of humanity and give us a better shot, give us a better opportunity at avoiding world wars. And that's where we see the interventions happening, like the so-called UAPs shutting down nuclear facilities and disarming nukes and things like that. So that's one subset. Another subset is the traditional spirit guide that is someone who has lived many lives, mostly on Earth and incarnated many times. That's how they amassed their expertise on what it is to be human and go through the things we're going through. And they decide on the other side of life or back at source or in the dimension that is not here, that is our true home, in my mind is our true home. They decide that they want to be servant leaders. And to be a servant leader, where do you need leadership the most? Okay. And they decide that they're going to find human beings incarnated now that they want to assist and to help them, guide them, but not make decisions for them, and hope for the best, hope that we choose love, hope that we choose compassion for ourselves and others and healing. And so they've just
Well,
lived many lives.
no, I get what you're saying, but give us a specific communication you got from one of these ultra terrestrials about what we can do specifically.
Okay, well, I have guys on my team that have communicated that they've lived many times, and a couple of these folks are not traditional guides, meaning assigned to a human being or working with a human being here, but working with, say, a scientist that is doing work to further humanity. And one very specific instance I can give you is a Brazilian scientist named Sonia Rinaldi, who I don't know if you've heard of Sonia's
No,
work,
no.
but for 4 decades, she has been using instrumental transcommunication. And in her ITC, which is very, very well documented, she's in touch with Nikola Tesla and a group that Dr. Tesla works with to create communication between the worlds. And he is of the past, he is of the future, he is of the present. And so I would, she calls him, I think, extra or interdimensional. I think of him as an ultra terrestrial because it seems like he was in our future already and then incarnated here.
Right. But give me one I mean, yes, we could put names to it and it's all great, but one
Yes.
practical thing that we need to know about the future to prepare, to change, to shift, that's what I'm interested in.
Ah, that the weapons of mass destruction are not the answer. And as we fear something happening, like for example, we fear a nuke being used by someone in an action that's going on. As we fear that, what we're doing is we're thinning the veil with our emotion, with our fear, and it is making it not just possible, but in the view of the people that I'm hearing from, the spirit people, the allies, that they will intervene to stop something like that from happening. And so that's a can I guarantee that there will be no damage or that no nuke will go off? No, but they will not destroy ourselves. It's like humanity, I believe, has finally found the line that we cannot cross and most likely will not be allowed to cross. And it is the destruction of this earth, this
Well,
apocalypse that some people believe is happening. It's not going to
right.
happen.
But give me a positive thing we can do that will evolve us into a greater future. That's what
We
I'm
have to create our own society, our own para society, side by side, para beside, of community and compassion and taking care of each other. Meaning, if you know that your neighbors are being discriminated against, and you know that they need your support, that you stand up for them. It is taking care of the other that will put all of the fears to bed, that will resolve conflicts. And so many people think that what I do doesn't matter. One small action for me doesn't matter, but it actually does because it creates a ripple in the universal consciousness that actually inspires others to do the same, to be of service, to protect another, to champion another, to take care of another, to check on your neighbor. And the spirit guides and our interdimensional allies leverage that energy from that positive, loving, caring, compassionate action, that small little action that you did. They take that energy and they're like amplifiers of it, and they spread it throughout humanity. Now they can see all the energetic, they can see the vibration, they can see the frequency of compassion, and they can push it around to us, but we have to be the ones to open up to it. And if you find that something's touched your heart, take an action to help someone in that moment, because then you're part of that frequency. You're part of that unity consciousness. So don't give up on the small things that you can do to raise the frequency for everyone around you. It doesn't have to be writing a $10,000 check to charity. It can be taking those canned goods down to the charity on the corner. It can be stopping there to talk to someone who's come in to fill up their basket and get some food. It can be as simple as that conversation you had with someone at the grocery store, and you never really know, but the interdimensional allies are using the effect, the frequency from those small interactions to create one big frequency of compassion and community. They see it, they know how to use it, but we've got to do the actual actions and the work.
great. So at the Sedona Ascension retreat, what exactly will you be teaching and workshopping about for the people coming to there?
How to identify how you as an individual tap into that frequency of pushing out and then allowing compassion and universal consciousness to flow through you so that the people you meet can see love in your eyes, hear it in your voice, and feel it in your heart as you're just going about your daily activities. There's a practice, there's a way of thinking, a way of being that keeps you open to allow all of our interdimensional allies to amplify that frequency for us. We're so powerful, but they want to help us, but it's like they're saying, help me to help you. You have to do a million small things so I can amplify that energy out and create this peaceful, loving world. And it's not only possible, it's going to happen.
Mm. So what does the future look like then? Talk about the world that's coming.
The world that's coming, and I don't have a time frame for everybody. Space-time is not something that our souls really think about when we're in our essence, when we're back at source, and it's certainly not something that our interdimensional allies really think about. But the future is going back to how Earth used to be in terms of Mother, Father, Earth itself, Gaia in a perfect state of balance. Balance is the word. Harmony is another word that they use quite a lot. And that means we have clean air, clean water, clean soil, and that humanity is interested in learning and growing and developing instead of acquiring and controlling. To get there, we are going through the period of finding out what it's like for humanity to be into acquiring and controlling, but we're moving to learning and growing. And overarching in all of this is
Yeah, but
being
there's a whole
caretakers of Earth.
population that wants to control and own. I mean, it's not us, but it's this other part that has no idea what you're talking about. How do we reach those people?
But they are us at
Oh,
essence.
yeah.
And yes, right, we come back to
Yeah.
I don't I don't want to get hung up on duality. I don't want to
Yeah.
get hung up on the dual nature. It's an old lesson. At some point it almost becomes a trope. Sorry if that offends some
That's
people.
okay. No, that's
But
okay.
it is part of our learning to see the contrast, to see the opposite. And we are going to find out there are people that are close to us that we don't understand at all. And now we're going to be challenged to love them anyway. But I want to make a distinction here, Alan. This hate the sin, love the sinner doesn't work. The
Hate the
hate the
sinner,
sin,
love
love
the
the
sinner. Is
sinner,
that what?
it right implies judgment.
Right.
So
Well,
it's
I'm
more
not
of an
saying hate, but
accepting people where they are.
there's
But
people not interested in what you're saying because they're very much concerned with their material wealth and that's all they care about. So how are we going to shift all that?
in the future that I've been shown, which takes a while to get to, they wither and well, it's metaphorical, wither and die.
Uh-huh.
And that is because the power that they want becomes ignored. The rules that they want to put in place become ignored because the parasite society, the society alongside, becomes so strong in its trading with each other, it's taking care of each other, it's using how to using all the methods and how to live from the land that makes a big difference. So it's like we're going to be more rudimentary at some point. You and I won't be here when this happens, but it's the future is like how Earth began in some ways, except a more evolved human physical form. And so we're going to be have to get stronger. We're going to learn new ways of doing things, and we won't need their society.
Well, talk about those new ways, what we can do now to build that future. That's important, I think.
Yeah, I used to think it was just hippie stuff to learn how to grow your own food, to
Right.
study.
Well, I don't think that's hippie. I think that's practical.
It's practical, right? But years ago, I used to think, nope, nope. But yes, it's the practical nature. Learn what chemicals are in your food now. Learn how the state of things now. and then start fresh. And so we see people growing their own food, even if it's a small garden behind their apartment, whatever they can do. We see people choosing products that are whole. We also see new societies. They don't call them societies, but groups that are coming up on, let's say, Substack or wherever they meet that are talking about sustainability. We also have to, I think, learn how to connect with the intelligence that's all around us in terms of these guides and the beings that want us to do well because they are us. A lot of them are, not all of them. Your own soul is also your guide
Hmm.
because your consciousness is non-local. That's one area I've done a lot of study is in consciousness. It's not in the brain, it's not in the body, and only a part of your consciousness is necessary for operating your body right now. Where's the rest of it? Well, it's in the ether, but it's also around you taking in new information all of the time, having conversations and learning new ways, new methods. But we've shut that down, a lot of us. So it's this, a lot of this is the back to basics. It's learning reliance within a community. And a lot of that is also to stop hating and stop getting caught up in the addiction of news cycles. And, we're seeing now people are stopping, more people reportedly. I mean, it's the mainstream media reporting on themselves, but who knows? But they're stopping watching mainstream news. They don't want to hear it anymore. They don't want to be told what to think. Well,
Right.
that's a good step, but we also have to be informed citizens and know the basics of what's going on around us. Don't worry so much about what other people are doing. Worry about what you're doing. And when I say worry, I mean attention. Focus your attention on yourself and those immediately around you. Community is the operative phrase. The word community, creating communities of people who want the same thing. They want to be healthy and whole. They want peace and they want humanity to sustain itself, not burn itself out. And we will grow. We will be, this is ascension right here. This is the ascension discussion. We will be the one in power. It will come.
Mm. So that's great. I mean, I believe everything and try to live that way the best I
Yes, you
can.
do. You've been teaching us for a long time now.
And I'm learning all the time, learning, self-reflection, going deeper into the self. But yeah, I think we're at the turning point of a new world. Do you have any direct messages that you could sort of channel in from your guides? Like
I
anything you
do.
want to tell us
I
right
have
now?
I have a guide who it's from Arcturus.
Okay.
He calls himself Brucerin. And about almost 10 years ago, I was with a group from there was a church in Edgar Casey based on the Edgar Casey teachings called the Logos Center. I had the ministers from that church at my office in Carefree, Arizona, and I was tuning into the guides of the ministers and a guide that I had known only as like this big blue guy came in to where one of the ministers could see him and identify him. And he started finally giving his name. And Bruce Aaron has he doesn't suffer fools. You know what I mean? He's one of these guys that, oh yeah, well, love and light, whatever. He comes in when he wants to come in. He leaves when he wants to leave. And he comes in when I'm talking about a subject that's close to his heart, which is wanting the earth to continue. One of the things that he's told us, and he's given evidence to others and to me, so that we know that we discern him to be of the light, we discern him to be honest, but I'll still evaluate everything he says because that's how I am. But one of the things he said is that Earth, for years, when the Arcturians still had physical forms, this was their vacation spot.
Mhm.
This is where they came. This is where they built what we would call vacation homes. They were
Oh,
inside of mountains, they were under the ocean. And then as they watched humanity evolve, there were periods of time where they saw us become incredibly sophisticated in how we used building materials and how we used sound to build things. And sometimes they assisted, but they didn't do it for us. Human beings actually had all of this intelligence to build the pyramids, to do the things that we did. And he's telling us that that's one of the reasons they want to protect the earth is they want to see the earth stay or go back to how it used to be in terms of how clean and brilliant it was, but they want us to be partners again, like almost equal partners or as equal as we can be for our level of development as humanity.
mhm. Do you have
And
a message right now for us that you could
I
channel?
can,
Yeah,
I
go
can,
ahead,
I
please.
can't guarantee I'm not one of those channelers that can do
That's
it all the time.
whatever comes through is good.
Let's
It's
do
good.
it.
Yes, go for it.
Mhm. It could be Bruce Aaron. It could be Leo
Doesn't
Roy,
matter.
who's been with me since I'm a kid. All right. Ah, it's electrical in here. It's going to be Bruce Aaron.
Okay.
Okay. Blending. It goes probably around 70% him, 30% me. I won't go to trance.
Okay.
No, I won't.
That's okay.
Hello and good wishes. It is unexpected and quite welcome to be able to reiterate what was said just a moment ago, but to make a correction as well. We would not consider Earth as a vacation. We would consider Earth as a place of great reverence. When we have come here and we have been instrumental in assisting and consulting, if you will, on many projects, we did so out of love for our neighbor. We think of your existence as important for ours to continue. It is as though we are siblings in a way. And there has been a time where there was more equality in terms of we could have chosen so many from your delegation of humanity and found that we had more in common than different. And now, as we look at humanity, we understand that you are overrun with those who seek power for the ages and wish to dominate. And we want to assure you that this is unfortunately seems to be a natural part of a cycle that we have watched many times upon your earth. And it is difficult for us to be surprised at some of the activities that we see. We want you to bear in mind that because we've seen you cycle through these changes before, we're not alarmed. And we wish to encourage all of you not only to not give up, but also to increase, redouble your efforts to be in kindness and caring for yourselves and for others, and that you are much more easily manipulated. And so, in the past moments, there was something said about our amplification of your good acts. And that is a correction I want to make. We are simply holding a structure together. You are your own amplifiers of compassion and acceptance. We simply are, if you will, sort of a oh, structure structure that you are building upon. We're a foundation for you as we were at the beginning of humanity. And we would like you to know that if you will continue, all of you who are interested, to increase the thoughts, words, and actions of support of those who have less, who feel or made to feel that they are less, that you are the ones that you have wanted to save yourselves. We are holding, they say space, we are holding space, but we are also doing, I'm not sure how to say, we're also helping you with a molecular restructuring. Their physical bodies are changing to meet the demands of the new frequency here. Some of you will notice that you need more rest, more sleep, or more water, or more nutrients. And this is because we do help to strengthen you as allies. We are giving you what we can give you that you need in order to be stronger and to step away from the fear that can be imposed upon you. Many of you are going through the molecular restructuring now, and we want to assure you that it is not painful, but it helps you hold this change in the frequency of light. And we, as a civilization, and many other civilizations, have gone through our own such cycles where then we were able to no longer need the heaviness of the bodies. You are so very far from the light body, but you are so very close to the love and light that you speak of so frequently. Do not let this become a trope. Do not let love and light simply become a way to escape responsibility. You cannot simply meditate and pray and think about all of these things. You really must act. And the acting, as was said earlier, is in ways small but daily. We're here. We help. We love. We support. And you must learn when to be patient and when to be impatient and take positive action. Thank you.
Wow, that is great, Susan. That's a very
Patient,
nice.
patient and impatient. I would say he's more impatient than
No,
patient,
that
though.
was good. The molecular restructuring was sort of the specifics I was looking for because that was new and that's kind of a thing we can get involved with,
I think we
that's
can invite it too, Alan. What do you think?
well, how would we invite that?
Well, I ask for healings
Hmm.
quite often, and I will awaken and I'm in an astral place. And I do this little trick of, am I dreaming? And try to put my fingers through my hand.
Uh-huh.
They'll go through. And so I know I'm on the astral, but I'm on a table and I have people standing or beings standing around me or people standing around me, and I'm receiving healing. Um, I also know that our physical bodies, the frequencies can get so high that the physical bodies can't hold it. I
Right.
mean, I we know that we evolve. We know that we have evolution. We know that we change. We know that our DNA has been messed with. And so it just makes sense that if we ask our team, assist me in achieving my highest frequency, I'm willing to hold more light. I'm willing to be changed. I want to change to hold more love and light, or that which is for my best and highest purpose and the best and highest purpose of humanity. So much as everything rides on intention. The guides have always told me everything rides on your intention. If your intention is to lift up, then everything else follows. I'm noticing opportunities to lift myself up, lift others up, lift up a situation, or how to be not so reactive, but proactive and offer solutions instead of being entrenched in problems. And you must understand my opinion, which is different from yours, looking for solutions. So if my intention is positive and healing, my intention is creating community, I'm less likely to inflame situations or to just blow off steam. And I do feel like sometimes my heart can get so full, it's going to burst. I need some new structure. I need something to contain all of this light. Either that or I've got to go hide and pull the covers up over my head because I'm so sensitive. And I don't want to be too sensitive for the world. I want to be in the world. So I know I've had some restructuring done. And I think we can intend to be that vessel that holds all of the source love and the light so that, again, everyone we meet can see source in our eyes or love in our eyes, feel it in our hearts and hear it in our voice. But its intention is so important.
I liked what you also said about praying, healing, asking for healing when you go to sleep, and
Yes.
but that's when the higher self or the divine self can work with us more easily because the personality's not in the way. So, you know,
Yes.
that's
And we
important.
misunderstand personality versus soul a lot in
Yeah,
this world.
and yeah, I know yeah, I have a problem with some of that.
I've seen you speak about that.
Um, uh, right, but at the conference, give us is this the taste that you want to give us for the upcoming? Is this what you
Yes.
want to say?
I want to channel whichever of the guides wants to talk about how they're working with us right now. And Lord only knows in March what that will be. But I know that if you'll be, I know you'll be interested, but there'll be some people, a few people that will be changed.
Uh-huh.
And when I come with that intention that those who want to be changed can be changed, and in a way that lifts us all up, it happens. Even if
Great.
it's one person, it happens.
Well, if that person's intention is aligned with your intention, yes, it won't happen
Yeah.
unless they're open. So, is there anything like final wisdom you want to give us today? Because you don't want to give away everything, right? Before they come to the expo, the conference. Yeah.
And also the chapter is still being written on what will be shared in March because I'm just a simple person. But what I can tell you is that no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what is happening to you or has happened, I know that you're blessed. How do I know that? Because you're still here. And to still be here on the physical earth now at this time means that there's still good work for you to do. And the good work starts at home. The good work starts with you, those immediately around you, and try to find humor in a day, humor about yourself. Every day when you first wake up, I suggest the first thing is, I have another day. I'm grateful. And where was I last night? What do I need to know from last night's dream or astral travel? What do I need to know today? Give me good work to do and tools to do it so that I might grow. And so if you start just that one little habit of how you wake up in the morning when you're still in that hypnagogic state, and Alan knows all about that, the state between awake and asleep, that's when you can sort of set the tone for the day. And your tone is to be open and balanced. And we'll get through no matter anything that happens. But not only that, we're going to succeed and thrive.
Great. No, that's so good. I think it'll be a really amazing conference. But you
I do
also
too.
do other things. Talk about what you do just separate and how to promote your work and people to get in touch with you.
Okay, well, I'm a medium, and medium doesn't mean only connecting with discarnate beings. Mediumship is about being in touch with your beloved people and pets in spirit, your spirit guides, but developing your intuition and being the best soul on earth that you can be. And my website is carefreemedium.com for Carefree Arizona. But you're going to be more carefree as a soul on earth once you realize that you have all the tools and you can learn to tap into them, your intuition, your contact with your spiritual team, you can do it. And I teach people to do that through big classes and small mentorings as well.
Carefree Medium.
Yeah.
Carefree Medium. Thank you. And I'll see you here. Let me put this, let me see if I can get that poster up again. Is it up? I don't know if I kept it up. Let me see if I can find it. But I think it'll be an incredible conference. You have anything to say about the other speakers coming there or anyone else you
This
want
is a
to?
really good blend of people because you're going to get the outlook, the information that people in past life regressions are giving about Atlantis, about the nature of the soul. You're going to hear about ancient wisdom. So we have Sarah Bressman Cosme, we have William Henry, we've got Billy Carson. I went on William Henry's Egypt trip just a year ago from right about now, and that was very transformative. There are channelers, healers, and I think Bashar has even
Yes.
new wisdom to give us.
Bashar
Adam
definitely.
Apollo is always very futuristic.
Yes,
Futuristic.
you're
I
right. This is
there's so many things I could
amazing.
say to you, but I think it's just this beautiful buffet where you can just take what you what vibes with you. But the big thing here to me, Alan, is we do so much online stuff. I had a
Mm.
woman the other day say to me, I had to learn Zoom to work with you. I think it was 2015. And now everything's on Zoom. And I'm like, well, come to Sedona. You don't have to always be on Zoom.
Yeah, it's better to be there in person for sure.
It is.
And these are incredible presenters. Suzanne, this is Suzanne Ross. She put together a fantastic convergence of amazing people. So,
Gosh, and
um,
this is her 10th anniversary of doing the
yeah.
Ascension retreat. So I have a feeling it's going to be extra special. So if you haven't done it before, I think this would be the one.
Yeah, so you get your tickets right here, Sedona Ascension Retreats.com. And there you are, Suzanne Wilson and Billy Carson. And yeah, this is some of my favorite speakers bringing in fantastic information. Do you know Ann Tucker?
I haven't met her yet. Now she communicates with angels. I
She
know Mark
does.
Anthony really well too. He's
But
really
Ann
good.
Tucker's communication with angels is predicting this huge shift that's happening, that will be
Cool.
happening in 2026. So that is come join us, come join me and Suzanne and Robert Edward Grant and Bashar for this fantastic gathering in Sedona, March 14th to the 16th, 2025. Sedona Ascension Retreats.com is the website to get early bird tickets. So please come and join us. Thank you for watching New Realities and me, Alan Steinfeld, and Suzanne Wilson. See you next week with